Cars making their way out onto the circuit here at Zandvoort. Welcome everyone to round 5 of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. We are getting ready to go for qualifying. Green lights are on at the end of the pit lane. Sun is shining, track temperature already over 20 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful day here in the Netherlands, and hopefully we're going to get some great racing to go along with it as well. My name's Chris McCarthy. It's going to be a pleasure to call you through the action as ever. Qualifying is just getting underway. For those regular viewers, you'll be familiar to the format, but for those new viewers or unregular viewers, let me just remind you of the format. The 36 drivers have been split into 2 groups, Group A and Group B. The groups are determined by championship position. Those drivers who are in the odd numbers in the championship, i.e. 1st, 3rd, 5th, and so on, go into Group A, and those drivers 2nd, 4th, 6th, and so on in the championship go into Group B. Those groups stay the same throughout the whole weekend. Today it is Group A who go out onto the circuit first, followed by Group B, and tomorrow that reverses round. Group B go out onto the circuit first tomorrow, Group A go out onto the circuit second. We are the very first cars to take to the circuit this morning, so there's going to be some dirt on the circuit for the drivers to clear up, including that man there, Dino Beganovic, our championship leader. Hence he is in Group A, makes his way out onto the circuit to get started for some flying laps. Now, we have had 2 days of testing. It isn't all the time that we get to do that. We were out testing on Thursday for a pre-event collective test, and quickest on that day was Kaz Havicourt from Mari Boya, Hadrian David, Michael Belov, Gabriele Mini, Paul Aron, Josh Dufek, quickest of the rookies, then Sami Megatunif, then Dino down in 9th place. Laurens van Hopen came next. As for the 2 collective tests yesterday, Paul Aron for Prema, Dino's teammate, was quickest and set the quickest time overall with a 1:31.488. So that gives us a respective time to aim for. He was quickest over Michael Belov, who told me that he'd made a couple of mistakes, could have gone quicker. Mari Boya was in 3rd place. Then it was Dino in 4th place. Sami Megatunif, great performance from him to go 5th. Likewise from Fornaroli in 6th place. Esteban Masson looking to recover from Paul Ricard was 7th. Then it was Gabriele Mini, then Kaz Havicourt, then Noel Leon. And as for the 2nd collective test, Kaz was quickest on his home track. Then it was Hadrian David, Michael Belov, Paul Aron, Tim Tramnitz, the quickest of the rookies, Leonardo Fornaroli, Seb Montoya, Noel Leon, Laurens van Hopen, and Esteban Masson. So some familiar names within the top 10 there. You'll see we've got some of the cars who are going out in Group B lining themselves up. Why have they got wet tyres on? They just use those to drive round to the pit lane. Then you can see the teams will take the wet tyres off and put the brand new slick tyres on it, so they don't take any tread off the slick tyres, and so they don't put any dirt on the slick tyres, because driving through the paddock does that to them. So they put old wet tyres on to just drive round to from the paddock through to the pit lane. But those are the cars going out in Group B. We won't focus on those for now. We'll focus on these guys out on circuit. This man here, Hadrian David, 2nd, as I said, in the afternoon test session yesterday. The Alpine Junior makes his way out of the 1st corner. He was one of 2 drivers who finished on the podium last year here, who's back this year. The other was Gabriele Mini, double podium finisher last year. Hadrian David was 3rd in the 1st race last year, makes his way downhill and back uphill once more, now 3rd in the championship. We did have drama. We'll just have to pick it up very quickly. Those of you might have seen Dino Beganovic was disqualified after the 2nd race at Paul Ricard. That race is now under appeal. The team have appealed the decision, so the championship standings are provisional. But what it does mean is Gabriele Mini now only sits 45 points behind Dino Beganovic, so there is a chance that gaps could really close this weekend. Dino Beganovic, why was he disqualified? It was his car did not pass through scrutineering, but as I said, it is a decision that the team Prema have appealed. Okay, we won't talk about it any further. He makes his way uphill and back down it again. Dino will be looking to come back this weekend now and get himself back where he belongs, onto the top 2 steps of the podium. That's where he's been all season long. He's finished first or second in every single race so far this season. Let's see if he can keep that going. Practice, he hasn't been there yet, but let's see if he can do that. Hadrian David has gone to the top, 1:33.054. That's 1.3 seconds slower than what we saw yesterday. The quickest time from Paul Aron. He was quickest with a 1:31.4, so in fact that's a 1.6 seconds slower, apologies. Dino Beganovic now making his way up towards the final 2 corners. Up to turn 13 we go, dab on the brakes into here, and then they make their way through the banking. They absolutely love this corner. Flat out they come through here. Dino Beganovic now onto the start-finish straight. What's he going to do? Let's see him put a time on the board. He's comfortably going to be quickest. Let's see where he goes. He goes to the top, 1:31.897. Great time. One thing to note about Dino is his worst qualifying result so far this season is 3rd. So he's finished 2nd in every single qualifying group he has been in. Absolutely superb form. Let's see if he can keep that going, hence why he is the comfortable championship leader. Josh Dufek's just gone up to 2nd place. Brilliant stuff there from the rookie. Had a really unfortunate time at Paul Ricard. Wrong place, wrong time for him, but he got his personal best qualifying result there, qualifying just outside the top 10. Sami Megatunov has gone up to 3rd place, the rookie. Here's Hadrian David. He currently sits in 4th place. Not going quicker on this lap. He's backed off on this one. He's gearing up for another one. Pietro Deligoanti, the RPM driver, has just gone up to 3rd place. 1:32.438 for him. So it is Beganovic from Dufek. You can see the positions to the top left of your screen. The red backgrounds to the numbers to the right-hand side of the name denotes the rookie drivers. So Dufek is the first of those. Deligoanti 3rd. Then we have Megatunov, Fornaroli up in the top 10. So as I said, we have 2 qualifying groups. How does it work? This will denote what row of the grid they start on. So the 2 quickest times, when the 2 qualifying groups have finished, they will be put together. The quickest qualifying group will form the inside row of the grid, and the slower group will form the outside row of the grid. That's how it works. So what they are essentially doing is fighting for which row of the grid they start on, and that, as Sami Megatunov goes to 3rd, means he will be on row 3. Whether it will be 5th or 6th, we'll find out at the end of the next qualifying group. Okay, Dino Beganovic is leading, but Joshua Dirksen has just gone up to 2nd place. Brilliant stuff from the driver from Paraguay, but not for long. Kaz Havicourt now goes to 2nd. So Dirksen 3rd, Dufek 4th, Megatunov in 5th, then is Capietto in 6th place. Deligoanti is 7th. Fornaroli is 8th place. Zagazeta is 9th. Bortoletto, he's been quiet so far this session. He is in 10th place. We'll wait to see what he can do. Fluxa likewise down there in 12th place. Here's Hadrian David though. He's all the way down in 15th. Makes his way through the final corner. Needs to get a move on the Alpine Junior. That would put him all the way down, potentially in 30th place on the grid. He makes his way now down the start-finish straight and goes to 3rd. That's more like it from the Frenchman. Hadrian David up into 3rd place. Will we see any more improvements? Gabriel Bortoletto comes across to start a flyer, as does Lorenzo Fluxa. So both of those drivers 10 seconds slower on that last lap. So they had backed off just to build up for another flying lap. Who's going quicker on this lap? Well, Pietro Deligoanti is in the 55. Maceo Capietto is in the number 5 as well, as is Keith Donegan, the Irishman, in the 65. He looks like he's on a potentially good lap as well. Francesco Braschi is also on a flyer as well. Made great progress in the 2nd race at Paul Ricard as well. So Francesco Braschi will be coming into this race high on confidence after what was a good performance from him in the 2nd race at Paul Ricard to get his personal best result. Gabriel Bortoletto, we're watching him now, 12 so far in this session, needs to improve. The RHGP team in general just don't seem to currently have the legs to take the fight to ART and Prema at this circuit, but can the drivers turn that around as he makes his way downhill into the 90 right at turn 11, through turn 12 now and up towards the final 2 corners. That's the 72 of Fornaroli ahead of him. I don't think Bortoleto will catch him. If anything, he might even get a toe from him as he comes through the final corner now. Bortoleto will make his way down the start-finish straight. He'll grab a toe from Fornaroli. Will that help him boost him up the order? Yes, he goes up to 6th place, but still, he'll want to improve from there. That'll put him outside of the top 10 on the grid. Beganovic is the man currently leading from Kaz Havercourt, from Hadrian David, Pietro Deligawanti. That would be a best qualifying result of the season if he could stay there. Josh Dirksen in the top 10. Then we'd have Bortoleto 6th, Fornaroli, Dufek, Megatunev and Cappietto rounding out the top 10 in this group so far. But as we start another lap, the timing screens are lighting up. Dino Beganovic has gone purple through the first sector. He set the best first sector we have seen so far in this session. Leonardo Fornaroli has set a very good first sector as well. Looking at it, he's the closest man to Dino Beganovic through the first sector. So Fornaroli in the 72, definitely one to watch. We're going to pick up the home hero, Kaz Havercourt. Makes his way across the start-finish line now. Where can he go? 2nd place for him. Great time. 1:31.492. Dirksen up to 4th place. Cappietto up to 5th. Megatunev in 6th. Josh Dufek has gone up to 3rd place. Brilliant performance here from the number 13, Josh Dufek, the Swiss driver, going really, really well here to get himself up into 3rd. Fornaroli, we said to watch out for him. It was a great first sector. It looked like a great second sector as well. What's Leonardo Fornaroli going to do as he comes across the line, makes his way up to the start-finish straight, and 4th place for the rookie. Huge lock-up for a driver ahead. Are we going to have yellow flags out? No, I think whoever it was managed to avoid the gravel trap just ahead as Dirksen pops up to 6th, and I think that was Hadrian David also on the move as well. He is now running 5th place in this group. We're getting ready to build up to the final laps of this session. There's 2.2 seconds splitting the whole field so far. Han Chen Yu rounding out the order, just under a second between the top 11 drivers, which is being rounded out by Fluke. So there's Cappietto, the number 5 Monolite Racing driver on your screen. Josh Dufek doing really well. Here he is, you can see the number 13 makes his way downhill. Not going quicker on this lap, so he's backing off, building up for his last flying lap. But what a performance so far. He didn't have the best of runs at Paul Ricard. Just, as I said, involved in incidents that weren't really his fault. Qualified on row 6, which was his best performance of the season so far. Can he get inside the top 10 for the very first time? We're building up to the last flying laps now. Kaz Havercourt, a small lock up into the first corner there. That will prevent him from taking the fight to Dino Beganovic, who currently leads the session by 0.2 of a second. 1:31.272 is currently the time for the next group to try and go and beat. And Dino Beganovic is going even quicker, the number 18, 31.395 through the first sector. So Dino set to potentially improve further now through the first sector. Gabriel Bortoleto rather looks like he's just improved as well. He's gone up to 9th place, but he'll want to improve on that more as he goes on to his last flyer. Kaz Havercourt is improving, Josh Dufek is improving as well, but they can't quite get near that time of Dino Beganovic, who is absolutely flying. We are watching Kaz Havercourt, who is currently sitting in 2nd place. He makes his way down towards turn number 11 now. Downhill braking zone, very easy to get caught out here. Is Van Amersfoort Racing teammate of Josh Dufek. We pick up now as he makes his way into the 90 ride through the left-hander. Really good stuff this, and Kaz Havercourt's purple through the second sector. Well, are we going to see a late change in this session? 31.698, the times are fairly level. He'd have to make some time up on Dino through this last sector. Dino Beganovic at 1:31.207. Kaz Havercourt, can he beat it right to the death? Yes! Kaz Havercourt, 1:31.205. Beats Dino Beganovic by 0.02 of a second, and he did it through the final sector. 27.975 seconds through the final sector, and Kaz Havercourt provisionally is going to be on pole position for his home race, and at worst he will start on the outside of the front row, and that will be the first time we see Kaz starting on the front row. But will there be another change? Hadrian David makes his way around the final corner. Can he upset the home crowd here? He makes his way down the start-finish straight. Hadrian David, 6th so far in this session. Will we see him pop up? Yes, he does. 131.3, 134. And Hadrian David goes to the top right at the end of the session there. Kaz Havercourt was leading, but only briefly, and he did it all through the final sector. Hadrian David to the top of the timing screens, 131.134, 71 thousandths ahead of Kaz Havercourt. And it's Hadrian David then who will be on the front row of the grid. Kaz Havercourt will be on row number 2, Dino Beganovic on row number 3, Josh Dufek will be on row number 4, Josh Dirksen will be on row number 5, Pietro Deligoanti will be just outside it. Josh Dirksen getting inside the top 10 positions there, right at the end as well on the last lap, but a 131.134 there. That is the time now to beat for the next qualified group. And Hadrian David, what a time to put in. The last person to cross the line, Hadrian David comes across to go quickest in Group A. Well, what a way to get qualifying started. Hadrian David, quickest overall. That is now the time for the next group to beat. 131.134. Kaz Havercourt, 2nd place, just missed out. 3 drivers within a 10th of a second, with Dino Beganovic in 3rd. Josh Dufek in 4th. Joshua Dirksen in 5th. Pietro Deligoanti, 6th place. Leonardo Fornaroli in 7th. Then Matteo Capietto, 8th. Then Sammy Megatunov, 9th. Gabriel Bortoletto, 10th. Lorenzo Fluxer, 11th. Owen Tangavelu was 12th. Then it was Matthias Zagazzetta, Nicholas Baptiste, Francesco Braschi was 15th place. From Keith Donegan, 16th. Piotr Wisnicki, 17th. Han Chen Yu was in 18th place. Well, that's a personal best qualifying results for Josh Dufek as well. And as for Hadrian David, he is trying to take what would only be his 3rd pole position in Freca. Let's see if he can go and do it. Hadrian David, he did start on pole at the first race at Monaco. Let's look back then at the highlights from the first group. A clean session as well. No red flags throughout the session, which is good. We didn't see any drivers go off, and considering we're the first cars out on track, I think every driver deserves a pat on the back for that one. Great stuff from all of them, as Dino Beganovic looked to be the one to beat early doors. He was putting in some great times. Hadrian David, we saw that he was definitely going to be one of the ones to contend for it. Leonardo Fornaroli did well throughout the session. There was times where he was really up there, but in the end he was just outside the top 5. Josh Dufek would go on to take a personal best. Kaz looked like he was going to be quickest, but in the end it would be Hadrian David. Okay, next we go to Group B. In this one, we're going to see Paul Aron in the 3, Roman Belinsky in the 4, Pietro Armani in the 6, Axel Noss in the 7, Esteban Masson in the 9, Levente Revets in the 11, Victor Bernier will also be out there in the 12. Then we'll have Noel Leon in the 19, the Red Bull Junior, Michael Belov in the 30, Lawrence Van Hopen in the 42, Gabriele Mini in the 46, Sebastian Montoya in the 58, Mari Boya in the 64, Santiago Ramos in the 68, Tim Tramnitz, one of the quickest rookies, the quickest rookie in the second qualifying, second practice session yesterday. In the number 70, Hamder Al-Khabaisi in the 88, and Dudu Barrichello in the 91. Well, there we had a quick look at Sebastian Montoya. He had a positive end to his testing yesterday, finished 7th in the second collective test. Now here's the man who's going to be looking to follow in the footsteps of his former teammate, Gabriele Mini. Last year, ART came here with Gregoire Saucy, took both pole positions and both victories as well. And Gabriele Mini joined Gregoire Saucy, who, of course, then went on to win the championship. joined his teammate on the podium in both races here last year, got a second and a third, and took both rookie wins as well. So it was a hugely successful weekend for Gabriele Mini here last year. In FRECA terms, ART are essentially unbeaten here, and Gabriele will be hoping to continue that form for them. Big rush out of the pits now. As I said, a quick reminder, we have had Group A go out on track. The time to be beat has been set by Hadrian David of a 1:31.134. If that time is not beaten, then these drivers will form the outside row of the grid, and Hadrian David will start on pole, and those remainder of the drivers in the first group will form the inside row of the grid. If it is beaten, the roles will reverse round, i.e. this group will form the inside row of the grid. That's how it works. We'll find out in about 13.5 minutes what the score is. They're just going to get the tyres up to temperature first of all. Now, we do have in this session the driver who was quickest in practice overall, Paul Aron, in the number 3. So that's definitely going to be one to watch. There's Hamda Al-Khabaisi. She got a personal best result last time. Paul Aron, the Estonian, is decided to lead the charge. This will bring us to the halfway point of the season as well. So let's just go through while they're warming up the tyres. The current score in the championship, Dino Beganovic leads, as I said, 147 in points. 45 points behind is this man here, Gabriele Mini. So if he can go and take 2 wins this weekend, he has a great chance to close the gap to Dino, who's going to be on row number 3 on the grid. Hadrian David is then third on 94 points. However, the exact same applies to him. He is, let's see, he's not that far behind either. He's only a further 8 points back in the championship, so 53 points back from Dino Beganovic, and it looks like he has a chance of starting from pole, so he's got a chance to potentially close that gap to Dino at the halfway stage to around 30 or so points. Then we have Paul Aron on 88 points. The same applies to him. He's not too far back himself. He's about 59 points back. Then we have Kaz Havercourt in 5th on 79 points. Michael Belov is also on 79 points as well. Gabriel Bortoletto brings an end to the lead queue, if you like. He's on 71 points. Those lead 7 have been the main protagonists so far. I mean, Mari Boyer, we could also include him in that as well. I think we should, really. But his run of 4 7th places just leaves him 15 points back from Gabriel Bortoletto. He's on 56, so he will be desperate. He's in this session as well, in the number 64. Mari Boyer will be desperate to get himself onto the first 2 rows and go and take some podiums and just bring himself back towards that top 5 in this championship. And likewise, Lorenzo Fluxer is next. He's 9th in the championship. He's in this session as well. He was in the last session, rather, Lorenzo Fluxer, and we saw him within the top 10. He got, for the very first time last time out, his first double point score. 23 points for him. Sebastian Montoya, who is in this session in the 58, currently leads the rookie standings. He's on 20 points. Leonardo Fornaroli is 2nd in the rookie standings on 11, and 3rd in the rookie standings is Tim Tramnitz on 10 points. Well, there are the FA racing cars. Here you can see the all-red colours of Arden Motorsport, and they're the red and white colours of Prema. Sebastian Montoya, his father here with him this weekend, supporting him, just helping him all the best he can. The team doing a great job with them this season. Prema leading all 3 championships so far, drivers, teams and rookies. They'll be looking to keep that going throughout the next few rounds, but there's a long way to go in this season. This is only going to bring us to the halfway point in the championship. After this, we go to the Hungaroring for the very first time, then to Spa, then to the Red Bull Ring, then to Barcelona, and then we will end at Mugello. Absolutely fantastic track, and with push to pass as well, that is going to be an absolute cracker. Okay, Paul Aron brings us across the line No respectable times yet. I would tell you what the times they're doing, but we are about 5 seconds off what we are seeing, what we saw from Hadrian David. So we're still in the phase of warming the tyres up. Takes a little bit longer with the softer compounds, and likewise the window for getting the lap time isn't as long, but you would have seen Hadrian David was able to put a lap in right at the end. So one thing we saw from that first group is that they could put a lap in, do a cool down, and then put another lap in again. That's something I wonder if we'll see a fairly similar approach in this group. Paul Aron did the most laps in that afternoon session as well yesterday. I think there's a chance he may have been focusing on more of a race run, because one thing that a lot of people have talked about is just, you know, the tyres around here. You know, are they going to go off? The softer compounds, and many will ride with the temperatures of Paul Ricard that we'd see the tyres drop off. But the guys at Pirelli were confident that they wouldn't, and they didn't. But this is going to be a real test for these softer compound Pirelli tyres. It will be very interesting to see, but definitely the softer compound, the reason they were brought in is to test the drivers on saving the tyres, managing tyres throughout the race, and that's something they will be tested on throughout this weekend. Well, the drive there, you can see Joshua Dirksen, the drivers from Group A. All they can do now is watch on as the drivers from Group B get ready to go, and we are now getting some respectable times in. Let's call them now for you. So, Paul Aron, 1:31.621. That's a half a second back from Hadrian David's time. Sebastian Montoya is second. Michael Belov is third. Here comes Tim Tramnitz up to the line for Trident now. Makes his way towards the start-finish line. Will he go to the top? He goes to second place with a 1:31.755. Sebastian Montoya is third with a 1:32.1. Now fourth, as Gabriele Mini has gone to third with a 1:31.9. Then it is Michael Belov in fifth place. Victor Bernier is sixth place. Mari Boyer is seventh, then Dudu Barrichello, Lawrence Van Hopen is next. But times are rolling in, these sector times rolling in thick and fast now, and Paul Aron is going even quicker on this lap. 31.4. I don't think we saw anyone go that quickly, but Tim Tramnitz has gone quicker. The number 70 has just gone quicker than Paul Aron through the first sector, so we're going to have to keep an eye on Tim Tramnitz. Remember, he qualified on the top two rows back at Imola, so Tim Tramnitz can qualify right at the front of the field. He's done it once this season already, but Paul Aron will be first to take across the line now. Here he comes to the start-finish line, 6.5 minutes on the clock and a 1:31.255. Tim Tramnitz will be the next one to watch out for. Sebastian Montoya now goes to second place, 1:31.491. We'll keep an eye out. Here he is, the number 70, quickest through the first sector. Can he take the fight to Paul Aron? He's lost a lot of time, I think, through the second sector, but we'll see what he can do through the final sector. Up towards the start-finish line he goes. Michael Belov currently in fourth place. Gabriele Mini in fifth, and third place, 1:31.536 there for Tim Tramnitz. Gabriele Mini, what about him? 31.5 through the first sector, 31.7, 21.8 through the final sector, and Gabriele Mini goes second with that time, 1:31.375. We'll keep an eye on Gabriele Mini in that 46 as well. Remember, he's second in the championship, and he's looking to keep that unbeaten run going for ART here. He's trying to chase down Dino Begnovic in the championship, but so is Paul Aron, and here he is, Gabriele Mini, making his way up the hill now. Paul Aron is on a slow-down lap, and I think many of the drivers are as well. You can see Gabriele Mini visibly backing off as he makes his way downhill through turn number 7. Just over 5 minutes to go. The quickest time is a 1:31.255. It's quite likely we'll see that time beaten from Hadrian David. They've only got to find around a 1/10 of a second, just over in fact. But that's why the groups tomorrow are swapped the other way round, and the Group B go out onto the circuit first, and Group A go out onto the circuit second. Makes things fair for all the drivers. The only difference tomorrow is we won't be the first out on track. We'll be going out after GT World Challenge have their qualifying, so there will be a bit of rubber down for us on the circuit already. Okay, here we go for another lap, and Paul Aron has just gone quickest through the first sector once again, 31.488. Sebastian Montoya has gone very quickly as well, 31.496 for him. So it's a real head-to-head on this lap so far between the two Prema teammates who you can see in your screens, Aron and Sebastian Montoya. Sebastian Montoya just behind in the background. There he is, coming into your picture now. Sebastian Montoya hunting down his teammate quite literally in qualifying as he makes his way downhill. I'll keep an eye on the sector times for those guys behind as well, but so far on this lap it is these two who are showing the best times. Montoya has lost 3/10 through the second sector, so not sure if we're going to see him take the fight, but Montoya could go up to second place. It's a slow first sector for Gabriele Mini, but we could see an improvement here from Paul Aron as he comes up to the line. Could this be pole? He only needs to find a 10th, and he's found more than that now, 130.970, and that means this group will form the inside row of the grid. Sebastian Montoya has gone to second place with a 131.288. Who else is improving out there? Well, Victor Bernier has gone up to 7th place. We've also had improvements from Hamda Al-Kibasi as well. She's gone up to 13th place. Here's Tim Tramnitz, not going quicker on this lap, but then again, not that much slower either. He makes his way around the final corner now. Still some respectable times. Will we see him find something through the final sector to maybe challenge Gabriele Mini for third? Not quite. He did go quicker through the final sector and through his time overall, but couldn't quite improve on his overall time. Esteban Masson has just improved as well, as has Laurens van Hopen. Esteban Masson has gone up to 8th place. Laurens van Hopen has come up to 11th, and Roman Belinsky has just fired his way up to 7th place. He's now the third of the rookies. Scored his first points and his first rookie win in the second race at Paul Ricard, did Roman Belinsky, and currently he's running in P7. Looks like drivers once again are taking the chance to back off to get ready for one last flying lap. And this will be it. The time to beat now is a 130.970. Paul Aron is 3/10 quicker than Sebastian Montoya, 4/10 quicker than Gabriele Mini, and half a second quicker than Tim Tramnitz. Roman Belinsky, he's setting another time. He's just set a personal best through the first sector in that number 4 Trident car, 31.6. That might be him. You see him firing through there. So Roman Belinsky trying to get himself up the order a little bit more. We'll see what he does through the second sector as Paul Aron starts another flying lap. We'll see him through the first sector. Here he comes now downhill. Roman Belinsky slower through the second sector, so not sure he'll be able to improve. I'll keep an eye on it as he comes across the line now, but Paul Aron has gone quicker through the first sector. So has Sebastian Montoya. That's the quickest first sector we've seen from Paul Aron. Up towards turn number 9 they come now, and in towards turn number 10. And it's the second sector where Montoya made a mistake last time. It's where the second sector where Paul Aron is just very, very strong as they come downhill now in towards the tough braking zone at turn 11. Paul Aron, let's see what he does through the second sector, trying to consolidate this pole, and he's gone slower through the second sector. Sebastian Montoya has gone a little bit quicker. Seems like the tyres are just falling away from them now as they come through the very challenging second sector. Very tough on the tyres, that part of the circuit. Here they come through the final sector. Michael Belov is set to improve. Victor Bernier is set to improve as well, as is Mary Boyer as well. Up towards the line we go, and Paul Aron can't improve, but Montoya can. 131.239, and that further extends his gap over Gabriele Mini in second place. But Gabriele Mini is improving on this lap. He's done a personal best first sector. Dudu Barrichello, by the way, has just gone up to 7th place as well, as Victor Bernier comes up to 4th place in the number 12, and that's his first time inside the top 10. Brilliant stuff there for Victor Bernier. When I say the top 10, I mean overall on the grid. That would put him on row 4, so brilliant stuff there from Victor Bernier. Here comes Gabriele Mini though. We've seen him improving on this lap. Can he challenge for the top 2 rows? Can he even challenge Paul Aron? We saw what Hadri and David did last time. There's time to be found through this final sector. Can Gabriele Mini find it? Paul Aron is on another flying lap. The checkered flag is now waving here at Zandvoort. Gabriele Mini up to the line, goes second. 131.161, and that'll put the Italian on row 2. However, Montoya is improving. Mari Boyer goes up to 4th place to put himself on row 4. He's up to the top right of your screen. You'll see the other ART as well there of Laurens van Hopen. But yet again, the 2 Prema drivers are improving. Here they come through the final corner now. Paul Aron versus Sebastian Montoya. Montoya will want to get back towards that 2nd place. Aron has aborted his lap. Montoya comes up to the line to continue and can't improve. And that means he will be 3rd place. A brilliant performance in qualifying. We saw him do similar back at Imola. He performed very well in qualifying there as well. And Sebastian Montoya, yet again, some great qualifying performances from him so far here this weekend. But Paul Aron, the number 3 there, will start the first race this afternoon from pole position. And that's for Paul, his 4th pole position in Freca. He took back-to-back pole positions at Mugello last year. We saw him take pole at Monza earlier this season, and this his 2nd pole position of the season. Now this will be your inside row of the grid. Row 1 will be Paul Aron, row 2 will be Gabriele Mini, row 3 will be Sebastian Montoya, row 4 Mari Boyer, row 5 a personal best result for Victor Bernier, row 6 will be Tim Tramnitz, then it will be Michael Belov on row 7, Dudu Barrichello will be row 8 from Masson, then it will be Roman Bielinski, then Noel Leon, Laurens van Hopen, Santiago Ramos, Axel Noss, Levente Rivets will be next after that in 15th place. And then we will have Pietro Armani in 16th place. And behind that, Hamda Al-Kabasi will round out the field. Well, another brilliant performance in qualifying. 1.8 seconds between the whole field overall. And another great performance in qualifying. Another great session, another clean session as well. No red flags throughout, no real offs either. And overall, it was a battle between the Premas. You've got to give credit to that man there, Tim Tramnitz. Did show his hand early on. In the end, it was a 6th place for him. Gabriele Mini would finish in 2nd place overall. Montoya will start the race from row number 3. But starting from the front row of the grid will be Paul Aron, and that will be for race 1 at 12:40 a local time here in Zandvoort. For now, though, it's goodbye.